Today we'll learn the Darkslide, and once you master the technique of this trick, there's a whole new world of tricks that's going to open up to you. So, my question is as follows. What do the following tricks have in common? It doesn't matter if you're doing a dark slide, back roll hand drag or a moon slide. The one thing they all have in common is the kite steering, where you steer your kite past 12 to get a suspended flight. You want to be floating just over the water with only your board touching it. So we're going to break this trick down in 3 parts, which is the pop, the suspended flight and the down loop. We'll have different exercises for each and every one of them, but first of all, we'll start with a far jump or the suspended flight. Ride in with medium speed at a crosswind course and kite at 45 degrees. Slowly steer the kite up towards 11 and pop off the water as it hits 12:30. Continue steering the kite past 12 and try to stay as close to the water as possible. As the kite hits 11, you pull the bar all the way down and steer hard with your backhand to pull it in a loop. Follow the pull of the kite downwind, whilst you keep steering hard to continue the down loop. You can now choose to make it a transition or to continue riding in the same direction. Only untwist your bar when you have full control over your kite. Ride in at a crosswind course and carve 15 degrees towards the wind when you want to pop off the water. Steer your kite past 12 in a continuous movement and play with the bar so you fly just above the water. Point your board slightly downwind for the landing and follow the pull of the kite as it loops. You can now choose to ride out toe side and make it a transition, or stay on the heel side edge and continue riding in the original direction. Only untwist your bar when you have full control over your kite. When practicing the suspended flight, there are a few things you want to keep in mind. First of all, you want to go for a soft pop. If you would just carve hard towards the wind, as you would with a normal jump, you're gonna fly high. And that's not what we want. We want to stay low and close to the water. So, ride in at a crosswind course and edge up towards the wind with 15 degrees only. A normal jump would be 45 degrees. So you see, it's a lot less. Second of all, you want to steer your kite slowly from one side to the other. Because the faster you steer the kite, the more lift you are going to get and the further away from the water you will be. But in the end, there's more to it than just your kite steering. In total, there are 3 variables that have a huge impact on your suspended flight height. But we'll get into that in just a moment. Last, but certainly not least, it's the down loop. You want to slowly initiate your down loop, but pull it really hard and short at the end. If you don't pull it hard and short at the end, the kite is going to go straight back into the wind window and it's going to launch you off your board. So keep that in mind. If you're afraid to loop the kite, don't worry. You can also practice the suspended flight without the loop. You initiate it exactly the same as you normally would, and at the end you just don't loop it. This is going to mean that the kite flies slightly out of the wind window and it's going to put you down a little bit harder. So make sure you land on your board first and then just sit down in the water. But we want to do that loop. So to practice that loop, you can do it without the actual jump. You're just going to ride in, slowly steer your kite across 12 and then loop it at the end. One very important thing is that you follow the kite downwind. If you don't follow the kite downwind, it's going to lift you up and it will give you power. Next to that, make sure you pull it short. There are a few variables that have a very big impact on your flying height. First of all, we have the power that you enter your trick with, and this is combined with the speed that you enter your trick with. The more power you have in your kite, or the faster you are riding, the longer you can slide. As you can see in this video, where I was riding a 9 meter in a good 35 knots, gusting probably 40. Another big factor is your kite steering. If you slowly steer your kite from one side to the other, it is not going to generate much lift. If you steer your kite very fast from one side to the other, it is going to generate a lot of wind. But you also need to combine this with the speed. So if you ride in with a lot of speed and you slowly steer your kite, they're going to compensate each other and you can go for that really long slide. Last but certainly not least is your bar positioning. You don't want to be doing slides with your bar all the way up, because this basically means you're losing all your power, you're throwing it away. You enter it with a lot of speed, you're steering your kite really fast and you're just sheeting that bar out and not maximizing your slide. So make sure your bar is about 2/3 pulled in, so powered up, and like that you're maximizing your slide. Obviously, the further you pull your bar down, the more lift you get. So try combining all of these three into the trick called the Darkslide, and that's what we're looking at now. Ride in with medium speed at a crosswind course and kite at 45 degrees. Steer your kite towards 11 and fall forward as you pop off the water. You can catch your fall by pulling down the bar and steer your kite past 12 towards 11. Pull the bar all the way down when the kite reaches 11 and pull the kite in the down loop so you can bring the board underneath you for the landing. Follow the pull of the kite downwind and finish your loop by steering it to either 1 or 11. Ride in with medium speed at a crosswind course and carve 15 degrees towards the wind as you pop off the water. Fall forward and drag the board behind you whilst you control your flight height with the kite steering and bar position. Tension up your stomach muscles and pull the board underneath you for the landing as you pull the kite in a loop. Point the board downwind on the landing and follow the pull from the kite whilst you finish the loop to either 1 or 11. Carve back to a crosswind course and make sure you have full control over the kite before you untwist the bar. When doing the Darkslide, there are a few things you want to keep in mind. Just after the pop, you're going to fall forward and drag that board behind you. You do this by extending your back leg, retracting your front leg and extending your toes. Don't pull your toes up because then your board is just going to bite. The loop timing is very important. You pull the loop too early, you're going to get launched out of the water and the landing is going to be very hard. You pull the loop too late, you're going to end up on your belly without having the time to put that board underneath you for the landing. This is not bad though. If ever you're going to crash the Darkslide because you don't have enough power, just land on your belly and body drag it out. That's the most simple way. And that's it for this week's episode. Hope you enjoyed it. If so, give me the thumbs up. Subscribe to stay updated with the latest content. And if you have any questions, just drop them down below in the comment box. And then I would say, see you on the next one.